O great Nyang Nyang, we beseech you to grant this your final journey into our home. You see before you a bright sparking light, and there in the center of the pool is a large frog emblazoned with sparkling arcane energy and light.
The frog is going to lose control. It's just going to be a frog, and we have to get out of range.
What is the quickest way out of the city?
To the back wall.
Okay. At this point, you go to the very base, and there's a cluster of kind of tangled hedge vines, and she takes her staff and kind of pulls it aside, and you can see there's a small tunnel.
Your half-baked plan worked.
Good job.
As you guys begin
Force Greg.
Do I have knowledge of the best way to withstand a thunderstorm of this kind?
Staying close to trunks. You do know that especially in this dense portion of the rainforest, the rain falls in sheets, but it hits the canopy and then condenses into streams that pour out of the trees or along the sides. So as close to the tree trunks as you can, that blocks most of it.
Is the lightning any danger to us?
Generally, no. But heavy rainfall, depending on how big the storm is, can make very muddy and very slick terrain. So it's probably going to slow your progress. We'll see.
Okay.
Should we look for a cave?
Guys, watch your step.
Okay.
We're gonna stay close to the trees, try to walk on the roots. Anything that's hard rather than soft.
Good advice.
And keep your eyes and ears peeled for walls of water, maybe.
Okay. Good advice.
Go ahead and make another survival check.
Okay. 20.
There you go.
Alrighty.
Good job. She's back.
Learn my lesson.
So while your progress is a little bit slower, about 10 minutes into it, the rain hits. And when it hits, it sounds like this heavy, distant white noise as the rain is just pattering down heavily atop the jungle canopy. And within a short period of time, you see like tiny waterfalls where it's just the rain has been coalescing into these single streams that just pour down above you. At this point, you begin to change your trajectory to follow along the tree line best that you can and sticking close to the roots. But you are all soaked within a minute.
I fill my water skins
Yes.
from the falling water.
That's a good call. You were running low after a night's travel.
Naked and afraid.
We fill all of our.
Good idea.
We use the banana leaves.
Chult.
Exactly.
Yeah, exactly.
Perfect.
It's fresh water.
Joe and I watch too much TV.
It's the best show on TV other than Critical Role.
It's not on TV, but thank you. I appreciate that.
Yeah, whatever.
Not yet.
It's favorite show. Did anyone zoom in on that? An Easter egg.
Well, it was an Easter egg.
Well,
No, it's just an egg.
it's a found Easter egg.
Yeah.
Damn it.
Anyway.
Okay.
So, pushing forward, you managed to find elements of the ground where similar pitfalls might be. The rain is pooling into it, and some of these have now filled with water after the next hour or so. The heavy rainfall is filling these, and you can see these large pools, these puddles that who knows how deep they go.
Drown, snakes, drown.
But it does also bring things floating to the top that was lying at the bottom, and you begin to notice amongst the tangled web of roots, vines, and mud, you begin to see corpses kind of floating to the top, like the end of Poltergeist.
Okay.
You can see just bodies kind of float in chunks and pieces. Various states of decomposition, some just skeletal and kind of draped over pieces of loose wood that they're kind of dangling over before the arm snaps and the bones kind of fall and kind of float there.
Can we investigate to see what may have killed them?
Sure, you go up to one of the nearest corpses, make an investigation check, and
Does anyone have a higher investigation?
you make an
Built
investigation
this
check.
forest on
Then
an ancient
0.
Indian burial ground.
It's a 14 investigation.
Okay.
Mine's 8.
8. They look like human-ish. You've seen a skeleton or two in your time, and yeah, it's a skeleton, man.
I want to know.
Skeleton-like.
I want to know what.
Would a 14 tell me? Sorry, would a 14 tell me what may have killed them?
You glance at a few of them, and some appear to be impact. You can notice like the legs are splintered, like perhaps they'd fallen into these holes and just been destroyed.
Right.
There are two of them that you look down and you can see they were torn in half. There was an actual point of trauma in the spinal column, and they were bisected. A lot of the bones have deep grooves in them, like some sort of a blade or knife.
More traps.
Maybe, or something that I saw in Chult years ago.
You hear another distant rumble of thunder.
Okay, so we're seeing bodies.
Can I tell, like, the age of the corpses?
As you glance in and look, the closest corpse to you, who's been kind of floating there for a second, his arm kind of reaches for your face.
Okay.
Fuck.
Control the undead.
All right, go ahead. You do that.
Okay.
Natural 18 on the saving throw. I'm so sorry. I rolled
so excited.
against your spell. I'm so sorry.
These are the only 3 times Control the Undead has not worked, and there's Nathan Stewart gloating. Why do you get such pleasure?
I'm so sorry.
I have a manticore, Nathan. Deal with it.
So as you focus on it, it's less that the magic wouldn't take effect, more than there's not a lot of this creature to really control. Most of it is submerged in the water, and as it reaches out and it misses your face as you back, it grabs the ground and pulls itself forward, and it is just an upper torso, an arm, and a head.
No, well,
And it's like,
Up on
I
us.
could have done a little Yoda in my backpack.
Can you
That's
guys
true.
talk to
If
the
I
dead
had
at all?
thrown it.
Either of you?
Just leaves.
Leaves.
Speak with the dead.
As I back
You guys
up,
speak with the
but
dead?
are any
Yeah.
of these bodies childlike?
at this glance, you don't see anything childlike.
Look
Some of them
small.
look Chultan.
Okay.
I'm gonna axe through this thing's head. Sorry.
Go for it.
I'm embarrassed.
You just,
Yeah. All right, fine. Do I need to roll?
yeah. Go for it.
Yeah, natural 18.
That would be a 13.
That hits it. It's on the ground. It's fine. Go roll damage.
Okay, great. I mean, I should like 2nd level divine smite this thing.
Spite for
pure
it.
anger. But I won't. I'm gonna roll the Steelers dice here. Okay, good. That's 15 points of damage.
Okay, yeah, no. You just, its head is crushed under the blow.
Oh, I was going to ask it something.
And then I stomp on it.
Stomp on it.
Hey, buddy, where
I
are your
smash
legs?
its skull.
Where are your
Oh, it
legs?
stops moving.
But yeah, looking at the corpses,
Yeah.
some appear to be
Where are
Chultan. There are a handful that look
Where did you
dwarvish.
put them?
Okay.
And there are some dwarf races that live here on the island as well in the jungles.
Okay. But they all look adult sized.
Yeah, there's no children that you notice. The storm's still hitting heavily overhead. You hear the thunder again, kind of rolling. And the thunder again.
Can I use a nature check to make sure
Thunder's
that that's
rhythmic.
thunder?
Rhythmic thunder?
Make a nature check. Yeah. Seems like the thunder is
Is it the direction that we're heading?
14.
14.
Yeah.
It is kind of coming from the direction you're going, maybe a little bit east of it, but the rumble of it doesn't have enough of a rolling echo to be thunder. The more you listen to it.
Gang, that's probably a big baddie. Yep, everybody hide.
And as you glance over in the direction, you can see this looming, heavy shadow of some large beast, larger than the trihorns that
Hide
you
in the
saw
roots.
earlier.
Hide in the roots.
Make a stealth check, everybody. Including
Son of a...
Krook, who's like shaking it.
Yeah.
12.
Yikes. 6.
I'm a 20.
18.
Okay. Most of you guys hide or think you're hidden as you kind of find the roots and kind of pull back. You kind of try and pull a Schwarzenegger Predator and throw mud on you. Whatever this is, maybe it'll see heat. As you watch, come charging out of the nearby trees, a massive set of muscular lizard-like legs on a lifted torso with these smaller kind of hooked arms from the chest, a long tail behind it, and a huge box-like head with just rows and rows of razor knife-like teeth.
How far away?
From this point, it's about 40 feet from you as it comes rushing through at a heavy speed and
Okay.
kind of stops for a second.
When it's 30 feet away, I cast blindness on it.
Okay, it hasn't got quite close enough, so you're kind of holding the spell for it to get close.
Okay.
It's going to stop for a moment.
Calliope's not even hiding.
And as you get a glance at it, much like the Trihorns you saw earlier, there are pieces of its body that are just decomposed, exposed bone and ribs. You can see where the eyes are, these like horrible, pale, snow-blind looking eyes with just these dripping layers of thick black blood that are just kind of careening down the sides of its rotting face. As it kind of looks around, it looks in your direction, Archon, and then and as it roars, its jaw opens up, and on the inside you see what looks to be a dozen or so writhing zombie bodies all reaching out from inside of its gullet. You guys are all trying to hide on this side. This was the direction you're traveling. And now, tearing through the jungle from this perspective, we have the T-Rex with clusters of various writhing zombies spilling out of its gullet. I need you guys to all roll initiative, please.
He looks like your grandpa.
Okay, at the start of the combat, Crook, who is frightened to all get out, doesn't really know how to handle the circumstance, so immediately casts Barkskin on herself. You watch as the kind of somewhat smooth, slick red exterior of the frog's body all of a sudden gets extremely rough and ragged, looking like the bark of a tree, and is going to move over here, leaping behind over this one fallen tree trunk. That ends Krook's turn. Tiro, you're up.
Okay. I mean, I don't know when this bottomless sack of creatures ends. Can I just pull them out whenever, or is it? Because I feel like there's got to be a limit on baboons, right? I can't just
That's the wrong book.
keep pulling baboons. That is to say, I might use that as a bonus action if that's possible, unless it is a standard action.
Let's go ahead.
You're
and
asking if your sack is truly bottomless?
That's right. IRL.
There wasn't anything weird about that.
No, I know. It's just
What's
like,
called
but
again?
obviously it's bottomless.
Tan bag of tricks.
So now we
and
have
it's on
our
page
resident
154.
13-year-old.
Yeah, there we go.
Just
He
tell.
said bottomless sack.
Alrighty, it's an action to pull something from it.
Okay.
I get it.
So I'm actually not gonna do that as
And
my.
once 3 have been pulled, you can't use it again until the next dawn.
Okay, until the next dawn.
Yeah, so
You've
you have 2
only
more
pulled
pulls.
one
from
though.
Okay, yeah, I've only pulled an axe beak out yet. So I think instead I am going to run over and I'm gonna run over to you, Jamila, and I'm gonna use guidance. And so you get a D4, and you can add that number to one of your ability checks, in case you want to use an ability check.
Okay.
You have to touch her to do that, though.
Like this.
I guide you.
I flinch a little, but then relax.
I'm a very big guy. And then I'm going to, I guess, since that was my action, I'm gonna turn into a creature now.
Alrighty, we turn
yes.
into.
And this is
T-Rex.
he's been
Butterfly.
See you guys. I just turn into a bat and I fly away. I think that I am going to turn into a porcupine. I'm going to do it. Not a baby porcupine this time, but I'm going to turn into a big one, and I'm going to scoot around very quickly. So,
Okay, I don't have a porcupine mini, so for the sake of just knowing who you are, we're going to go ahead and use a big frog. There you go.
okay, here I am.
But that is
This
that's
show
your
is
porcupine.
bullshit. No fucking porcupine.
Dear Whiz
Production
Kids.
value.
Dear Whiz
Guys,
Kids.
porcupine.
Porcupine, 8-foot mole.
Yeah, get on it, guys.
Yeah.
I'm going to look really mean, though. I mean, as mean as I can look as a porcupine.
Yeah, so you kind of curl into the small bowl with this angry face, and all your quills stick up.
Exactly.
Dangerous
And I'm
motif.
rattling them around. He's
Perfect.
scared. And that's it.
All right, that's your turn. At this point, the large, looming T-Rex begins stepping towards Archon. 1, 2.
and get it.
At that moment, it gets within range of your blindness spell.
Hell yeah.
Great.
So you release it. What's the DC on that?
15.
15.
Plus
alrighty.
15. Yeah.
This is a wisdom save.
So spell save DC plus 15.
whatever fast. Blindness.
What's the blindness save?
Blindness.
On your spell code.
It's
doesn't
Constitution.
Say, it says
Constitution.
choose one creature. Yeah,
That's
Constitution.
a natural
saving
20
throw.
plus 4.
Oh,
Oh, man. You're seeing this,
stick.
right?
I want, yeah.
God
I want to
damn it,
roll
really?
in your zone.
I know, apparently this is the corner where
I
saves are
rolled.
made, guys.
Unbelievable.
So as you release it, you watch as this cloud of darkness kind of burns its way across the front of the T-Rex's face. And as it steps forward, it just kind of dissipates. It seems that its undead form is untouched or scathed by your spell.
And you can't use that again, can you?
Good thinking.
I don't know. Can I try it again?
Well, not until it's your turn.
Right.
Okay.
I suggest we do it.
It's gonna move right up to you, Archon.
Brother from another mother there.
As it does so, you watch, as a bonus action, one zombie dribbles out of its mouth and plunks onto the ground next to it.
Sure.
Right there.
Fuck that zombie.
And gets
Yeah.
up and... Zombie initiative. Wow.
Oh my god.
Zombies have what?
Wow, why are we wowing?
Just sit
What's
around.
You guys.
happening?
He's rolling high.
I rolled
Change seats with you. I can't watch this
I
anymore.
rolled a 20 for the zombies
It's
initiative.
2 20s in a row?
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's the fastest zombie.
you guys are fucked. Speaking of which, the
Marathon
Tyrannosaurus now, having the one zombie plummet out of its mouth, opens its jaws and rushes towards you. It's gonna go ahead for a bite attack against you.
Okay.
Okay.
That's 22 to hit.
Yes, it hits.
All right. Except for
I'm laughing at your reaction, not you getting hit.
Yeah. That's hilarious.
you take 27 points of piercing damage as the
Shit.
jaws close on top of you, and you are grappled. It's lashed onto you at that point, and
Question.
Yes.
In terms of grappling, if you can do damage to something, does it ungrapple you?
Nope.
No.
You
You're
have,
just
to, you have to take an action to ungrapple.
okay. Well, then I want a hellish rebuke.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Constitution saving throw.
Could you breathe
That is
fire
a no.
down
Hellish rebuke
its-
is a dex saving
Dex
throw.
save. That is a 6.
Would that,
At least get the zombies
Final.
in there.
All right.
make some haggis out of this
Yeah.
guy?
2d10.
I don't know if I don't think he heard you.
All right. So I'm in his mouth, and I just
Up inside.
8 points of fire damage.
8 points of fire damage. So you watch as this jaw clenches down. Archon seemingly almost disappears within its giant maw. You see his legs blow, and suddenly there's a flash of fire. You see jets of flame shoot out the top of its nostrils, now the sides of its teeth as it kind of shakes him in place there. You can see his feet are kind of left dangling as it shakes its head back and forth. That's going to go ahead and because there's nobody else in the tail.
Is he released?
is 10. So it's 10
No, I'm
foot
not.
reach
I'm
of its
still
tail.
grappling.
Yeah, there's nobody in
your
range
turn
for its
next.
tail, so that's going to be the end of its turn. That brings us to Archon, as you are currently now grappled and considered restrained while you're inside of its mouth.
So restrain means that I can swing at disadvantage.
Yes.
With the axe. Or I can try to break its grip, which is a strength save.
It's an athletics or acrobatics save to break it.
Okay. Then I am going to. I'm gonna athletics.
All right,
Athletic.
go for
Break
it.
it. 20!
Yes!
So that's a 27.
So what we'll say is, as the flames burst from the hellish rebuke, the jaw somewhat loosens, and you use this moment to go ahead and drive your arms against the roof of the mouth. You pull your legs in against the bottom, your boot crushing and breaking some of the teeth at the front of its jaw, and you shove it open. As the jaw kind of hangs open for a second, you see Archon leap out, the flame still kind of gently flickering and leaving the trail of his armor as he lands on the ground in front of it and spin around. So that's your.
I see your 20, Mercer. I'll reach you at 20.
So that's your action.
That's it.
You have your bonus and you have your movement still. If you wanted to try and move around it or shift your positioning. Your
Bonus wise, I don't. Bonus action. Actually, yeah, screw it. I'm gonna. I'll fire breath.
Okay.
Bonus action.
So as you land, you spin around and just unleash this giant cone of flame up into the face of this entity.
That's a dex save.
Yes.
Or actually, can I do the fire breath from inside the jaw?
Sure. So not only Hellish Rebuke into the fire breath on the inside.
And there's zombies inside, so I would hit them as well.
You do, actually.
Those are dex saves.
Might have heard you.
Yeah.
Smart man.
Toast him.
So you destroy 4 zombies in the inside of its throat. They just burn inside, just singeing. Then you hear this squeaking sound as a few of them kind of curl up and die on the inside. Chunks of their burned bodies and arms just kind of plummeting out the sides of its jaw. And you watch this Archon leaping from the mouth, just out of a ball of flame, just wreathed in fire as he lands. His armor, which has been heated from the impact, kind of hisses and steams the water on the forest floor.
Well done.
Yes, and now I roll for the zombie,
Yes, you do.
the T-Rex.
Oh, for the T-Rex.
Yeah. Not bad.
Well, technically it's all of them. So that is a
9 plus 6, that's 15.
15 damage, yeah. For the zombies, the ones that are like partially hurt, you just watch them burn and destroy. Those ones that are in there are still pretty hardy.
Sweet.
But you took out 4 of them
And then 15 to the
to the T-Rex.
T-Rex.
How many zombies are left?
A lot.
Specific answer.
A
And
belly full.
Belly full.
That's Archon's turn. You staying where you are?
I'm going to then move. I'm still within range, but I'm going to just move around to flanking.
Okay.
30 feet,
Yep, right there.
right here.
Yep, that'll do.
Okay.
Perfect. That ends Archon's turn. Hitch, you're up.
Son of a bitch. Okay.
I'm within range. You know what that means.
Yeah, sneak attack. Right?
Yeah. If you go up there with your dagger, you can go ahead and jam this thing in its sensitive
But-
spots.
I think I want to do something else. Or maybe I can do 2 things. What I'd like to do is throw my flasks of oil onto the T-Rex. So
Okay.
it becomes flammable.
You can do that, definitely.
Thank you.
Okay, I'm right behind you.
Dang, 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 dang,
With my wand of fireball.
yeah.
Yes.
Nice.
dang, 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 dang. Bang, bang,
Well, you can
bang,
do that
bang.
as a hand gesture as a bonus action,
Can you?
right? Doesn't he have the thief thing?
With the, let me see real fast, actually.
He has the. Look at this.
Like fast hands.
Fast
He's got fast
hand.
hands.
Yeah.
So he can sneak attack and then fast hands the oil.
Yeah, you can.
Okay, so let's do that. I come up behind here. Where'd he go?
You're right.
Lost
You
my
just
way.
put them already on it?
Oh, here.
He's so stealthy. He lost his own mini.
So
He's up in
I'll
the
sneak
tree.
attack- I'll sneak attack his Achilles, his left Achilles tendon, which looks rather juicy at the moment.
Alrighty, go ahead and make a swing.
Fucking balls.
6 plus
6 plus, what do I add?
Using daggers.
6 plus 7, 13.
13, that hits. Big target. Big target. So go ahead and roll your d4 plus your bonus damage for that.
1.
Plus
4.
So that's 5 damage, and then add your sneak attack damage. As you go ahead and rush past, your feet barely touching the surface of the forest, you leap across the way and strike out with your blade, cutting across the back of its thigh.
8 plus 2, 10.
So 10 plus 5, got it. 15 points of piercing damage across the back of its leg.
Yes! I'm alive!
And then as you land, you reach back into your pouch, pull out the oil vial using your teeth, you uncork it, and throw it up onto the back, and it shatters across the back of the T-Rex, spilling this dark, viscous oil all across the back of its tail and shoulders.
And then I disengage.
Used your bonus action to throw it, so.
And I just stand there
Okay.
and allow myself
Yes.
to be smacked.
Mouth still on fire? Well, whose turn is it next?
Give it up, Paige.
Next is Jamila.
Okay.
Yes, brother, yes.
So that's just the oil's still kind of dripping around it. It's your turn.
Okay. Well, take a wild guess. Range, frenzy, reckless. Now it's
man.
all
So
happening.
do you move up into its space?
Oh yeah.
Alrighty.
Right up in its face.
Just rush in, screaming all the way.
Yeah. And I
Bleed out.
shout, nobody hurts my friends. And
Which ignites like the smallest bit of feeling
15
inside
plus
of me.
7
Yeah.
for the first one.
That hits.
All right.
It's so big.
That's
Why?
5 plus 8, so 13 on number 1.
13 damage. Nice.
12 plus 7, 19.
That
Or
hits.
then 4, 6, 10 plus 8, 18.
18. Nice.
Just carving this thing up again.
Another one. 19.
Yeah, that'll hit.
You know,
Not too bad.
5 plus 8, 13.
13. Slick. Alrighty. So you just swing into this thing. You're cutting across its chest and up into its midsection. And as you, the final hit comes up and you kind of drive this giant gash, you can see where the muscle kind of splits and the kind of grayish, loose interior of its body opens up, and from the inside you see the bone of the ribcage and what looks to be an eye peeking through. A hand kind of tries to poke through, but it's not a big enough gap to reach through.
Maybe we don't want to cut this thing up, guys.
So that ends your turn.
Okay.
That brings us to Colette.
Is its mouth still on fire or no?
No, the flames went out immediately as soon as you leapt out of it. And it's just covered with.
I still say fight fire with fire because it sounds cool, and then I fireball it.
Are you gonna play
of course,
chords?
I do a little fast picking.
So you're using the wand of fireballs?
What? Yeah, I used wand of fireballs.
Okay.
Fire with fire.
At the creature's height, let's see here, 'cause it's a huge creature. It's a 20-foot
Well, I'm aiming
radius.
for the back too. Yeah.
So what you might have to do is probably aim for the nearby tree to catch it and not catch your friends in it. Because the size of the fireball, it's a big radius. And if you're not careful, you could hit all of your friends with it too.
Who's behind her?
That's Hitch.
Oh shit.
That's you.
Everybody.
They're all. You guys have basically triangulated around the T-Rex.
Okay. Well, I'm aiming for wherever you said.
Well, and then just kind of knowing the trajectory, you can look at where the like the top of the tree is probably your best bet to hit it without
There.
Oh, no,
the top of
Like
this
above
tree.
of it.
Oh, okay.
Because it's like a big.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Okay.
Oh, that's awesome.
Good. Okay.
Above
All
us,
right.
but on him.
I'll say go ahead and make an intelligence check. This is to see how well you can aim it to avoid hitting Jamila with a blast as well.
You sure it's not a charisma check?
This could be.
It's okay. Just spur me on. Pain don't hurt.
3 plus. Would it just be that or?
Whatever your intelligence modifier is.
Yeah. So 9.
9. Okay.
Whoa.
So you're just doing a basic level 3 fireball.
Yeah.
All right. So roll
I lost
8d6.
total confidence.
Leading the witness, but I do not object.
Yeah. Well.
All right. 8d6. Go ahead and make a dexterity saving throw with advantage because you have your
I've got my
barbarian
stuff
check.
going.
8/6.
8d6.
I'm fire resistant, I just want to say.
Yeah. It doesn't catch you, thankfully.
cool.
It just barely catches the top of this tree, and you take half of it.
I'll take a little duck,
Yeah.
but I'll take half of this.
15.
15 and 12. All right, so 27 points of fire damage.
Which
And
makes
you take
me, 4.
13. So
13.
So 13 points of fire damage to you. Not too bad. You
Not too
avoid.
bad.
Sorry.
No worries.
Thing is on fire.
Do what you
and
gotta
staying
do.
on fire.
Well, what happens is as soon as you aim over at the tree and take the wand and release the blast, a red thin beam just fires off. A single bead impacts the branches, and suddenly there's a fiery explosion right above. It manages to just catch the edge of you, but you duck out of the way and are only mildly singed. The majority of the blast just consumes the upper torso of the T-Rex, which pulls
Does it
back.
catch the oil?
As it does, the oil all across its back bursts into a very, very hot burning
Yes.
flame.
Yeah.
It takes an additional 5 points of fire damage and is burning.
Yes.
Nice.
So for the purposes of
We'll
this,
take it.
we're gonna go ahead and say that the T-Rex is,
Burning.
Amazing.
and it's an oil fire, which means it is resistant to the rain.
Yes.
Yes. Because it's thunderstorming.
Yes, it's
That's
raining
all this
all around you. There's
Yes.
just water
What a
pouring.
beautiful scene.
That's not dramatic at all.
So now is it at a disadvantage when it?
No, it's just on fire.
Which is a disadvantage in some way.
Yeah, it is a disadvantage to be on fire. It does not give it
Does
disadvantage.
it continuously lose? Is it getting damaged continuously?
When it comes back to its turn,
It'll make saves.
There's no way I can cast blindness still on that as
no,
my
so-
action, as my.
no, because it's the
Instead
action
of
to
moving?
use the wand. So your
right.
movement's just to move around. You want to move back, forward? What do you want to do?
I'll stay where I am.
Okay, cool. That brings us to the top of the round with Krook. Krook, who, watching this giant fiery explosion, the display instills a little more braveness within the small frog, seeing you all kind of latch onto and start assaulting this horrifying creature. So she goes ahead and pulls out a short bow, puts in a small arrow, and aims it up and fires away.
Nice.
with an 8.
Not nice.
So it hits the side of the T-Rex's body and then just splinters across, the arrow shattering against its heavy hide. At which point, Krook moves
Thanks for trying. Good
over
effort.
here to behind this ruined wall off to the side,
for
and it's
effort.
just waiting there. All right, that brings us to Tyra.
Okay, so I don't know if this is actually possible, but I'm gonna just hope it is. I'm going to flip him off, and then I'm going to turn around, and I'm gonna go, and I'm gonna fire my quills. Right, that's what porcupines do. They can fire quills.
Yep.
At range?
Yes. That's
at
why
least-
this is
Sure.
asterisk.
Sure. You know what? Why not? It's a magical world. You
Yeah, and
can only do this once.
fine with that. I'm gonna pepper this sucker.
You have to
So
get closer,
okay, I'll get closer.
because it's not like you have a shotgun.
How much closer do I have to get?
Like 10 more feet. Get within 10 feet of it.
You know what else can shoot quills? A manticore's tail.
So now I'm primed and ready. And what do I do?
Go ahead and roll 3 separate
away.
attacks.
3
with
separate-
+4 to each attack.
+4 to each attack. Two here. Hey.
All right, those both hit, and roll one more. +4, that's 11. That still hits. It's a big creature.
Hey.
So each quill is going to be 1d4 damage. No bonus. Just 1d4 for each hit. So roll 3d4.
Isn't it? Aren't we all at advantage though because it's on fire?
Nope. Just burn it.
4, so that's 3.
You love
So
that.
disappointed.
I need it.
4 damage. I do a lot of damage, guys.
4 points of piercing damage from the fired quills as you curl over like one of the critters in the movie. They fire off a selection of various spine-like needles, a number of them sinking into its hide. It doesn't seem to pay much mind.
Yeah, you know what? I wasn't paying much mind to him anyway. So I think
Were they
I'm.
poison
I was
quills?
saying, we had
That's right.
frog spit.
Yeah, I was covered in a frog. No, and then I think I'm going to actually, now that I've fired my quills and exhausted it all, I think I'm just going to transform out and cower.
Okay.
That's what I do after I fire my quill. Coward.
Just
Perfect.
Think about my life choices.
And that is Tyrell's turn. All right, so first, the zombie that had dropped, slowly looks around in the vicinity. Everyone kind of moves. You just darted past it. It was like, and it saw the explosion and looked down at you. And begins to lurch forward towards you right there. And it's going to go ahead and take a slam attack on you. That is a 6. That is a 3 + 3. So you see it coming, and you just kind of duck behind the tree right next to you, and its fist just slams into the tree itself, and you watch its hand almost break and splinter from the impact as it pulls back, its wrist all mangled.
Take that, you undead dummy.
The T-Rex, where it is
you big dummy.
going to step back this way. Actually, no, it's not. It's going to stay there because you're still in combat with it there. It is going to make, as you rush up and start hacking into it from the side, it spins around and looks at you with its horrible kind of white frosted eyes and its mouth kind of from a side bite as opposed to overhead, just tries to wrap around you. That is a 16.
Hit.
Alrighty. So,
Getting bit, you guys.
What are you down to?
I'm still good for now. We'll see.
Good.
41 points of piercing damage.
Ouch. You
And-
still good?
And
Well, I take half of it, so.
yes, you do.
Yeah.
So,
that's 20.
21.
1. Okay.
So 21 points of piercing damage, and you are currently grappled and restrained from the bite. As its mouth opened to grab at you, another zombie drops out of its throat and lands onto the ground next to you, Archon, and kind of like.
Okay.
As it swings around and bites at you, its tail whips around towards Hitch.
Uncanny dodge.
That is an 18 to hit.
It hits.
Okay.
Uncanny
So the tail slams into you, but you still manage to keep low and deflect some of the impacts, so you're taking half damage from this. That is going to be
Nice work.
Yeah, Joe.
19 points of bludgeoning damage, reduced to half, so you take 9 points of bludgeoning damage.
Sweet.
That you just manage to hit out of the way. Most of the impact deflects off your armor, but it still almost wins you, and you get back up on your feet. That ends the T-Rex's turn. Archon, you're up.
Oh, yeah. Okay, let's go. Gonna strike with Bone Cleaver.
Go for it. Yeah, that hits.
17. 17.
At this point, you gather it has an armor class of 11, so it's a big meaty target.
Then, as long as I don't roll a 1,
Yeah.
I hit. Okay, great. I'm going to second level Divine Smite.
Yeah.
Okay, go for it.
We
Which
saw
is-
that coming.
It's
It's okay.
undead. Therefore, 2d8 plus 1d8 for second level, 1d8 for undead, 1d8 for axe. 5d8.
Hell yeah.
Okay.
Nice roll.
11, 15, 25, 33.
Nice. 33 damage from the first strike. As you see it, it's latched onto Jamila on one side and nearly knocks Hitch off the ground as the tail kind of coils around. Use that opening to bring the axe back and jam it straight into where its leg is attaching to its upper torso and carve across the top of its hip. As you do, you see the tendon severing, and it actually has to kind of catch itself again as its weight shifts to compensate. Its body's starting to come apart in places.
Okay. Bone Cleaver, second strike. I did not roll a 1, therefore it's a hit. That's a 24.
24
I'm gonna go
hits.
first level Divine Smite.
Alrighty.
Okay, so that'll be 40, 48. Nope, it's cock. Not bad. 20. 28.
28 points of damage. Nice. Alrighty.
It's 61 points of damage in 2 strikes.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. So as you hack away at the one leg, you kind of leap off the side and drag it along the edge of its ribcage. And as you do, you tear across the flesh, and actually its arm, one of its small T-Rex arms, just gets carved entirely from its body. It's spinning and splashing into one of the nearby ponds.
Yes.
You can see the blood kind of burns off the edge of the axe as the divine energy slowly dissipates, kind of singeing it off the blade.
Nice. Question.
Yes.
Can I grapple with a bonus action?
No.
No.
It's an attack to grapple.
Okay, fair
Sorry,
enough.
buddy.
Fair enough. There will be time for that later.
I'm sure.
Okay, and I'm going to. I will. Jamila's in the mouth, right?
Yeah, she's currently grappled and restrained by it.
Then I will. But how high up is the mouth?
Right now, it's lifted her up off the ground about 7-8 feet.
Okay, then I'm going to move right in underneath the mouth.
Okay.
And I'll tell you why in a second.
So you shift around right there. Perfect.
The mouth.
Okay, cool. Hitch, you're up.
That was cute. Watch this.
My man.
Which the T-Rex is still in flames, actually. I forgot to roll additional damage for it for his turn. All right, so it takes additional fire damage, and the flames remain.
Nice.
So, Hitch, what you doing?
Well, it's sneak attack, right?
Yeah.
He's engaged.
Correct?
So can I sneak attack with my vicious longsword?
Not unfortunately, it's not a light blade.
Okay, then I'm gonna stick with my fucking daggers. My tiny butter knives I've decided to travel into this treacherous forest with. I'm gonna try and just slice away at this back leg.
You can sneak attack at a distance, by the way, if you throw the blade and they're engaged with somebody.
So then,
So if you wanted to, just letting you know, as a roguish ability, because the ball doesn't do as much damage, the safety comes from the fact that, especially if you have an endless supply of daggers like you do, you could disengage, back away, throw the, or hit it, back away, disengage, and then keep a distance from it and throw daggers at it to keep from being near its other attacks.
no.
That's what I thought. That's my
Good, though.
Did you use
It's
all your
good.
vials of oil?
No, I have one more.
Is that like a grenade if it's still on fire?
It's not the oil isn't explosive, it's just flammable.
Ah, yeah.
So it would just spill more oil, which would burn.
Would that be
maybe
more,
longer.
more damage?
No, it would just
No.
mean it would burn a little longer.
Just save that then. I'm gonna attack that back leg.
Go for it.
Come on. 8 plus 7,
That
15.
hits. Go ahead and roll damage.
Your daggers.
Yeah. 1, 4, and then 3 of these. 2, 8, 10.
10 points piercing damage to the T-Rex.
Did you added your 4?
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Alrighty.
Wait, no.
No.
No, 14.
14,
add it,
nice. Yeah, that's 14 points of piercing damage to the T-Rex. Alrighty. That brings us to...
Can I disengage?
Oh, yeah. You can disengage and move back if you'd like.
I'm gonna climb up this tree.
Okay. Make an acrobatics check.
Disengage.
I'm up this
Not
tree.
so
okay?
much.
Yeah.
Make an acrobatics check.
I'm like right here.
Just backflips away.
6 plus 7, 13.
Okay, yeah, you make it up about 10 feet into the tree, and you're
just
kind of
like
hanging by one of the branches, and you're just looking down. Okay, cool. All right, that brings us to Jamila.
Okay.
You have a +2 on all saves because of my aura of protection.
I have a
within
+2 on all saves?
I'm within 10 feet of you.
Okay. Well, first of all, for good measure, as an activity, I bite him back.
That's awesome.
Right?
All right, perfect.
It does nothing, but it makes me feel good.
Free action bite. So you, from the inside, which by the way, as you're currently clamped in the jaw, the knife-like teeth jammed in your leg, the smell is unbearable, but you're so focused in your horrible rage that it's giant, wet, somewhat rotting tongue before you just bite into it.
Precisely.
So as you can make your attacks on the inside at disadvantage because
Right,
you're restrained,
right.
or you can use your action to try and break.
Now, because I'm frenzying and I can use an attack as a bonus action, can I use my action to ungrapple and then still attack once?
Yes, you can.
Cool. All right, so I'm gonna ungrapple. I'm gonna
Okay.
try to break the grapple.
Okay.
Is it a strength? It's a strength save, right? So I think I have advantage on it.
It is an athletics check.
Athletics check.
And you
Okay.
have advantage on it because it is a strength skill check because you're raging.
Because I'm
So
raging.
yes.
Okay, great. So cool.
That's what barbarians do.
15.
15 plus, what's your athletics?
7. So 22.
Yeah.
All right.
You, at this point, after you bite into its tongue, you kind of grab onto the sides of the blades and put your feet out in a Van Damme split and kind of jam the mouth open. As it opens up, as your bonus action, you crouch down low and then leap out, dragging the blade across the roof of the mouth. So go ahead and roll an attack.
That's tight. That's tight.
Ooh, all right, so 5 plus 7.
5 plus 7, that still hits.
Still hits.
12.
Nice.
Let's go roll
Okay.
damage on that.
7 plus 8, 15 damage on that.
Alrighty.
And I do Arnold Schwarzenegger Predator Roar
Yeah.
Perfect.
as I do it.
As you carve past its palate, the blood pouring out and a number of the front teeth kind of shattering at the head of the blade, you land on the ground and turn around. It's looking rough. It's looking very, very rough, but it's still just spinning around angrily. Fantastic.
Cool.
Okay, that brings us to Calliope.
Who
How long does your guidance last?
who would be in the way besides the zombie? What I'd like to do
Yeah, I don't know.
Just
is
this.
fire the lightning,
It is. This is-
the lightning arrow through the zombie's face into his dipshit friend in the back.
We can do that.
That's what
low
I'd
armor
like to
class.
do. Is that going to hit anybody else who's directly behind? I don't see anybody directly
No,
behind.
you can aim it in a way that doesn't hit anybody.
Okay.
You can hit 3 zombies? Could he hit 3 zombies in a row? Because that's a straight trajectory. 1, 2, 3.
In order to
He
hit the
might hit
second
you.
zombie, he'd have to hit Jamila as well.
No, I don't want to do that.
Give me
but-
once.
Yeah.
No, I'm just going to
Through
go.
enough. She just bit again.
Go for it twice. Go for it twice.
Go! Jamila says, shoot the hostage.
I say to the zombie, well, as I pull back my longbow, I say to the zombie, "Hey, shit brain, fuck you, and tell Baby Arms he can go fuck himself too." And you heard me.
You heard me.
And I fire the lightning arrow right through his face.
Okay. Make a dex save for both the zombie and the T-Rex. That's a nope on the zombie, and that is a 0 on the T-Rex. 2 minus 2. So they both take 4d8 lightning damage. Go ahead and roll.
Okay, 4d8.
Yes.
Okay. Where did he
I only have
go?
1d8.
Yeah,
I don't know
so-
how that happened.
Am I just rolling it 4 times, or,
Yep.
or on each?
We
guy?
need some d8s.
6, 9, 13, 16. Okay, cool. 16 points of damage. All right.
Very good.
As you release the arrow and fire it forward, it blasts through the zombie, blowing one arm off. It just goes flying into the water, and its neck's kind of hanging to one side, barely able to keep itself upright, but it's still standing. The T-Rex, it hits the side, and you watch as the lightning strikes through, and the wound that was previously carved into its side that you left on its chest, now the ribcage collapses inward and breaks, and you watch as zombie parts spill out of it onto the ground, kind of sloshing out, slawing onto the floor.
Yuck.
Do you want to move or do anything else? The zombie's still up in your face, so.
Yeah, get like 10 feet away. Give myself a little distance.
Okay. As you back away, the zombie's one good arm makes one attack of opportunity on you with a 10. What's your armor class?
14.
You see the swing coming a mile away. It's like,
Right.
and you're just like, nope.
Right. Cool.
Whiffs and finds air. All right, so ending Calliope's turn, we're back at the top of the round again. The rain is still coming down
I say
hard.
nice try, numbnuts. Numbnuts isn't said much anymore.
Bring it back.
Oh yeah, I'm trying to.
Good, I like it.
Frozen in the 90s.
Alrighty, so the rain is now still pouring down. The flames on the oil are starting to dissipate a little bit, but they're still holding in check because it is that powerful of an oil. Top of the round, Krook is going to go ahead and knock the bow again and release, firing at the T-Rex. Ooh, that's a 24 to hit.
Damn. Only takes it once.
Thank God
If
we
this frog
brought
girl
her with
gets
us.
how you want to do this.
Yeah. I'm stoked. I'm stoked.
8 points of piercing damage, and it does not take any poison damage.
Stole our kill.
It does make it safe. So the arrow into the T-Rex, and the T-Rex kind of like doesn't seem to pay much mind. Its form is falling apart in places, and you see the flesh is like coming off in clumps, but it's still just. Chill, you're up,
Okay.
Mr. Cowering.
Yeah, I'm cowering. But you know, I'm cowering about my choices, which I had a little bit of time to think about. And I think the problem was that I was one lone porcupine. And I think what I need is an army of porcupines to shoot quills at this thing. And so I'm gonna conjure as many porcupines as possible using my action, which I don't know how much I can, but I just want a lot of quills firing at this thing. I want him to look like Pinhead when he's done. So I'm gonna do that, and then I'm gonna scoot away, tactical retreat, maybe like 5 feet. And then, wherever there's one that can shoot the quills, actually I'm just gonna shillelagh myself for a bonus action. So where can I summon these?
It should say on the spell, actually. This is conjure animals.
Yes, I have 60 feet. So you know what? I'm gonna create a perimeter around him
Just this ring.
and just fire into him like a dog who made a mistake.
Okay. All right. So we'll say they're 1/4 challenge rating or below, so you can summon 8 porcupines.
Yes!
They all just appear. They're like all partially submerged in water as they arrive. But they all look up at the T-Rex. You watch them all turn to you and give you like a respectful and I get a head nod.
This is an ethereal cigarette.
Get them, boys.
They all turn around and fire these tiny quills. Go ahead and make 8 attack rolls with the porcupines.
8 attack rolls. Yes, please.
Both those hit. Both of those hit. One of those hits.
Okay.
And one of those hits.
Perfect.
All right, so you have 6 hits. Go ahead and roll a d4 6 times.
All right. Another one over here.
Yeah, there's one behind
64.
Oh, there it is.
Okay. It's rolling low, but it has a high Constitution modifier.
Uh-oh, he's saving. These porcupines are getting nervous.
Well, all right. As you As you back away, first off,
Get
as you're backing away from the T-Rex, it's rearing back to make an attack of opportunity on you with its giant jaws.
Oh.
However, how do you want to do this?
That's amazing.
Okay. Describe this army of tiny summoned porcupines taking down the zombie T-Rex, please.
So, all of a sudden, the sky, which was already thundering, booming, suddenly grows even darker. The quills have blotted out any remainder of the sun. And all of a sudden, you just hear thunk, 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 thunk. And this huge beast falls over as it's peppered head to toe in toothpick-sized quills. And then I run up and, like after Little League Baseball, slap each one of my porcupines, give them a high five, and then we're going to the dugout for Kool-Aid.
That is amazing. As both of them just start tearing into you and trying to hit you over the head, the other one is like trying to grab and drag you down into the muck, and you're fighting them off, but they're both hitting you from two different sides.
Yeah.
Both of you guys suffer 27 points of fire damage.
Start praying to Tiamat, my friend.
So what, you control the zombie now?
Kneel before your master.
I guess so.
You look ahead and you see, maybe about 100 feet or so in front of you, the forest just stops. There's no more trees beyond that. You've been near this region and you have a sense that you might be drawing close to your quarry.